So this is the story of Ellensworth, where we see two men who have made a huge grave in Ellensworth. In this grave, they had buried a lot of people at the same time. Actually, there is a pandemic in Ellensworth, a pandemic, due to which people get sick and die. This pandemic was spreading rapidly among the people, and the rest of the people who were affected by the pandemic were putting them all in a cell, so that they die there and the pandemic does not spread. Due to this pandemic, the mayors of the city also die, which causes problems throughout the city. To run their city, they needed a new mayor as soon as possible, for which they choose a magician, because they felt that the magician would use his magic to save all these people from all the troubles. Even with this pandemic, everyone was willing to wear the magician Henry's wear, but the old mayor's assistant Franklin tells everyone what is the proof that this pandemic was not spread by Henry's magic. It is also possible that this pandemic was spread by the magician, so that the mayor dies and a new mayor is made. But Henry and anyone in the city do not pay attention to Franklin's words, and Henry tells everyone that if you do not make a decision soon to make me the mayor, there can be more big losses. Meanwhile, Henry also has his daughter, who also had a scar on her hand, which means she was also a victim of the pandemic and was about to die soon. Seeing this, Henry says that it is enough. Now I will treat it. He decides to end this pandemic with his magic, and everyone in the city is ready to support him. In the next scene, it is shown that Henry ends the pandemic with his magic, but in the side effect of using such powerful magic, a new problem had come to all of them. Because of Henry's magic, a very big monster had come to this city which he could not control. There was only one way to control him, that once a year he was sacrificed to a human, which he ate, and did not bother the people of this city for a whole year. Similarly, it is shown to us that the monster killed an innocent human, which the villagers themselves had tied up as a sacrifice, and he also had a special symbol on his hand. Anyway, the scene changes, and we see a group in the jungle. This whole group had heard the stories of Ellen Swart, and these people wanted to see that city. A child had a map in his hand, who gets very excited when he finds the right way and moves forward, but his excitement was too much for him. While running, his foot hit a stone, and he fell in this way. His leg bone broke. Seeing his bad condition, his companion, whose name is Mike, tells him to rest here with his companion. I go to the jungle with Jessica in search of a forest officer or a doctor. You guys try to set up a camp until we come back. While walking, Mike and Jessica reach a place where a cross was made of wood, and it was written on it that it is forbidden to enter the city. Mike does not trust the warning written on it and crosses the cross, although Jessica had also forbidden him to do so. Now Jessica had to follow him. These people now move forward. At first they did not see anyone in the city, but then they heard the sound of a bell. It was a sign of humans. On the other side, we see his other companion, whose leg was broken. He sees a lock here. This was the same lock in which a lot of infected people were put at the start of the movie. His companion tells him not to open this lock. I don't know what will happen inside, but he was determined to know everything, because of which he opens this lock. At first, he did not see anything, and as soon as he turned and looked at his companion, he saw a big monster who grabbed him and left. No, this boy is dead. After killing him, a monster threw one of his legs on his companion, who scared her badly. After this, the monster himself comes out of the trap, which scares the girl even more, and starts trying to run away from there, but this monster also starts following him. Here the scene is cut, and we are shown to the people of the city, where we have seen the magician Henry and a lot of people of the city, and we have come to know that this is the city of Alan Swartz, in which those two children went. It was surprising so many years had passed, but Henry and all his city people were just like before, so much so that no child was seen in this city. As soon as this city is not changed, where the magician Henry spins his wand, and the light coming out of the wand, and a strange symbol is formed on his hand, it meant that now this boy will become the food of that monster to save his city people for a year. Henry's daughter got very angry. She said, "Dad, just stop all this. Till then we will kill our city people one by one for that monster. We should find a way to kill him one by one. A time will come when all the city people will become his food." They were watching all this from the window before they run away. They see Henry's bodyguard, who has failed all his plans to run away. the scene is cut, and we see in the jungle that the big monster had killed his other companion, where Jessica and Mike meet Henry, and he says, "You shouldn't have come to our city." As soon as Henry heard the word Ellensford, Mike was shocked. He couldn't believe that he is in the same city where people write stories. He had heard the stories and he knew that his life is in danger, so he decides to run away. But before that, Henry's guards catch him and put him in jail, where they see the same boy whom Henry had chosen for the sacrifice. When Mike asks him, "What are you doing here?" he says that he has been chosen for the sacrifice, so that the people of my city can live in peace. Mike couldn't believe that this was a story on the other side. Henry's daughter meets Franklin, and she says, "Why don't you explain to Henry? Many people have become the prey of the monster here." Henry also found out that Mike and Jessica had 2 more friends in the jungle. His 2 guards went to find them. As soon as they went to the jungle, they became the prey of the monster. Here, Franklin came to talk to Henry on behalf of Henry's daughter. He asks Henry, "What will you do about the 2 children?" Henry says that he will make them sacrifice. Franklin was shocked. He thought that Henry's magic wand chooses people to sacrifice, but today he found out that Henry himself chooses people to sacrifice. And as soon as this was revealed, he says to Henry, "I think you did all this. You did magic to become the mayor, but you couldn't control that magic. And because of that, we were cursed by this monster." "No, we got the curse of this monster. That too because of your magic." Henry's daughter meets a cleric from the same boy who was chosen to sacrifice. He tells him that your life has been sacrificed now instead of you. My dad will sacrifice these 2. He is not happy to hear this. He gets angry and says, "What is their fault? Why are these poor people being killed?" When Henry's daughter comes, she goes to fight her dad. She tells her dad that you can't break this magic. Henry doesn't answer and tells her to leave. The girl gets angry, and before leaving, she steals her dad's magic book, and from this book, she finds out that this disease was spread by her dad. Instead of anyone else here, the scene gets cut, and we are shown that the sign of the sacrifice was now gone from the boy's hand and came to Mike's hand. Because of this, the other boy was very angry seeing Mike's death in danger. Jessica also started crying because Mike died today, so he had to die tomorrow. The villagers take Mike and attaches him on the crossfix, but he was lucky because after knowing the truth, Henry's daughter first comes to jail and saves her friend and Jessica, and then they all go to save Mike. The monster was now right in front of him. They take Mike off the chains and run away. By the time the monster comes near the crossfix, he was very angry, and his anger meant that he will destroy this whole city. He will eat this whole city. The people who ran away, Henry's daughter, his friend Mike, and Jessica, reach a special boundary. Henry's daughter tells Jessica and Mike, "You both cross this line and run away. You will save your life, but we can't cross this boundary because we are trapped in a magical spell." They were talking about the monster behind them. Seeing the monster's anger, Jessica gets confused and falls to save her life. Henry's daughter's friend helps her and takes her across the border, because of which he himself got burnt to ashes. The monster still wanted to follow Jessica, but he couldn't. He was trapped in a magical spell. Henry's daughter also disappears after seeing the monster the next morning when everyone wakes up in the city. They see that their sacrifice was not complete. Not only that, Henry was also not in the city. This was a big threat. That's why Franklin, Henry's assistant, tells everyone to gather in the hall. Actually, Henry came to the forest to find his daughter here. Mike and Jessica decided that they will go to a nearby police station and come back here with the police to save their friends here in the forest. It is shown that Henry found his daughter, but she was very angry. She says to him, "I know that this is all you're doing because of your magic. That monster is after our lives." When Henry walks towards her, his daughter, with the help of a locket in her waist, drops her magic wand. It means that she learned some magic from her dad's magic book, leaving her dad alone in the forest. She came back to the city and told Franklin and the city people that, "We don't need to be afraid of that monster. We will get rid of that monster soon. We just have to plan something big and work together. But before that, we have to save ourselves from the monster. That's why I tell you all, everyone light a candle and recite that mantra and make a circle with salt outside their house so that the monster won't be able to attack their house because Henry was not here. So everyone take Henry's daughter as Henry's daughter and light a candle and recite that mantra and make a circle with white salt on the side of their house as soon as the monster comes to attack their city, so he couldn't go to many houses because of this boundary." But here, a man who had seen the monster in front of his house got scared. He dropped the candle, and the magic boundary of his house broke, and the monster attacked him and his daughter and killed them. Franklin saw all this with his own eyes, and he was very scared that he will kill this monster after killing everyone. The monster went back to the jungle where he saw Henry, because he didn't have the magic wand, so he couldn't control his magic, and he attacked Henry and killed him here in the city. We are shown that Mike and Jessica reached the police station. They told the police about the city, and also told how many people were in danger. They wanted the police to come and help them. But as soon as they heard the name of Ennisford, the police thought they were crazy, because according to the police, that city was only in books. When Mike insisted them to listen to him, the police thought that they must have been drugged in this crime before they put them in jail. Mike acts smart and steals their pistol and comes back to the jungle to save all the citizens of Ennisford. They faced the monster again. Jessica got scared, but Mike shot him, and he got scared and ran away. Mike and Jessica came to the city hall where Henry's daughter was gathering everyone. Mike tells her that we just faced the monster, but when we shot him, he ran away. Henry's daughter says, yes, he can be killed if we all support each other. My dad has scared you all, but not anymore. I have learned a lot of magic from my dad's book. With the help of that magic, I will kill that monster. Everyone agrees to help him, and then they make a plan, because of which they made some traps for the monster and planned to attack the monster. The monster could not be killed because it was made with magic, so it was necessary to attack with magic and to make magic. Henry's daughter first goes to his cave and steals his broken nail, of which she put a lot in her locket, in which she cast her magic in the dressing. It is shown that everyone has tied Mike with a crucifix to sacrifice the monster. All this was actually a trap for him when the monster came to eat him. He also understood their plan. He found out about the trap which he crossed and reached Mike before he could kill Mike. Mike shoots him with his gun in this. The moment the monster is behind his leg also gets stuck in the trap. Seeing the monster getting a little weak, everyone present here starts attacking him with their arrows and guns. And with all these attacks, the monster gets even more angry. Along with all these attacks, Mike also wanted to use his magic, but it took him a little time, because of which the monster broke all his chains and started killing them one by one, seeing everyone in danger. Mike tells everyone to run to the jungle. When everyone runs to the other side of the jungle, Mike and Jessica run to the other side of the jungle while running. They crossed the line which the monster could not cross. It was a magical boundary. Taking advantage of this, Mike stays on the other side of the boundary and shoots the monster. In the meanwhile, Henry's daughter, Amy Hope, also comes, and with her locket, she casts a magical spell and attacks the monster, because of which the monster burns to death. And as soon as the monster dies, we see that all the citizens in the LS world also started burning to death. Actually, all of them got stuck in a time loop, because of which their time didn't change, neither their time nor their city. For many years, they lived like this. They didn't have any children. They lived longer than normal people. So as soon as the monster died, their curse also ended. The time loop also ended, and all these people also burned to death as soon as everyone in LS World died. The LS World City also ended, and its name will only be found in the books, and this is where the story ends.